Hello there. Good morning. It's Phil Thatch, and this morning I'm at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and I've got a new piece of gear. I've brought my Z8, which I've had for over a year, and my 600 millimeter PF, the 600 VR, the 600 Prime, that is not f4. It's a 6.3. But I just traded to MPB. I traded my Z50, my original Z50, and got a used 1.4 Z mount teleconverter. So I'll have 840 millimeters this morning at f9. It's pretty cold, as you can see by my outfit, and it's just a little bit after sunrise here. Not much light yet, but I'm hoping you can hear some cranes. Here comes a flock right here coming by. Maybe they're in the picture up there, maybe not. So at f9 with not much light, I'm shooting at really slow shutter speeds and kind of getting some blurs so far. It's going to be overcast all day, so I don't know how fast I'll get my shutter speed, but right now I'm shooting at 1/60th, which is not much at 840 millimeters. But let's see what I can get done this morning with my new 1.4 teleconverter, my new used 1.4 teleconverter. Okay, so this is my first shot with my new used teleconverter, and it gives me 840 millimeters when I put it on the 600 f6.3. It gives me 840 millimeters and f9. So everything I did today was 840 millimeters and f9, and there was almost no light, 100% overcast, and very close to sunrise. So this shot is 1/60th of a second. And I'm not trying to completely freeze the birds, but I was trying to get them as close to being frozen as I could at the crazy low shutter speed of 1/60th. And I liked these three as they come soaring in. And I like the way the mountains looked in the background. And the ISO on this one, even though it's only at 1/60th of a second, is 1800 ISO. And this is my favorite of the 1/60th of a second shots. Another shot at 840 millimeters wide open at f9, 1/60th of a second and 1100 ISO. I like the rolling fields here in the foreground with the pretty color and the wooded area in the background. And we've got these 5 sandhill cranes. And again, trying to get them as close as possible to sharp with the low shutter speed. The key area to be sharp is the head, and this head is really sharp, and the rest of them are pretty close to sharp. And of course, we've got some blur in the wingtips, as you're going to have in one of these blur shots. But I like the way this turned out. You know, sometimes you get to the sandhill crane area there at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and there's just not enough light. So this is kind of a necessity is the mother of invention thing. You end up shooting really, really slow shutter speeds, and it can give you some really interesting creative shots. Right now I'm at the Cherokee removal area, which is just up the road from Blythe Ferry. Not much to see here, though I can hear a lot of sandhill cranes. But while I was at Blythe Ferry, I saw a couple of bald eagles from a very long distance. Now I'm at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and some people that were there spotted this bald eagle. I did not spot it, but I was happy to see it. And when I first saw it, I saw this black stripe and I said, that's an osprey, but it sure isn't shaped like an osprey. But it's a bald eagle, not fully mature, but pretty close. Another shot at 840 millimeters. This is handheld, 1/100th of a second, and 900 ISO, wide open at f9. And I want you to pay attention to this little branch. It's kind of a memorable branch that comes up and spikes off in this direction, because turns out this tree is a popular place for bald eagles to perch, because not long after that, this bird was gone, but this bird flew up and landed on the exact same place. And this is a fully mature American bald eagle. I'm up to 1/200th of a second, and that would be the fastest shutter speed I used all day. 1/200th of a second, 840 millimeters f9, and 800 ISO of the adult bald eagle, perched on the exact same perch as the younger bald eagle was earlier the same morning. I went back over to the wildlife refuge at the gazebo and didn't really see that much. Well, actually, I saw a whole lot. I saw a lot of American white pelicans, but they were a long, long way away. And what I ended up doing was making some video clips. Now I've gone back over to the observation platform at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and it's getting mistier and mistier. And I got this photograph over there. This is 1/200th of a second and 800 ISO at 840 millimeters, wide open at f9. And now let's watch some video clips. And then the pelicans flew out, and it looked like they might have been coming over towards the Blythe Ferry ramp. So we came over here, and I got to meet Rick McCulley, so that was cool. And came back over to Blythe Ferry and saw another bald eagle, probably the same adult that I'd seen earlier this morning. Now I'm back over at Blythe Ferry, and I saw this great blue heron waiting, and I got down low, as I often do when I photograph great blue heron in the lake. And I made this shot at 1/200th of a second, f9, 840 millimeters, and my ISO is 560 of the beautiful waiting great blue heron. And then in the exact same tree and the exact same perch, the adult American bald eagle had returned. And this shot is 1/200th of a second, 840 millimeters, f9, and ISO 360. So I'm pretty sure this is the same adult American bald eagle that I photographed here earlier. So I had the young bald eagle, 2 shots of this adult bald eagle, and then, I don't know if you remember from the video clip, there was an immature bald eagle in those as well. So saw 3 bald eagles today, not a bad outing. And that was about it. And it was kind of cold and misty all day long, so all of these shots are from a long way away, and they all have a bunch of atmosphere, a bunch of mist and water particles in the air, so nothing's going to be all that great. But it was still a fun morning, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.